Welcome to Sigma Male Official. Today, we're going to talk about those small frustrations that only Sigma males can understand. Maybe you're one of those men who prefers deep conversations over empty chatter, someone who finds peace in anonymity instead of seeking to be the center of attention. Or perhaps you get annoyed when interrupted every time you try to express your thoughts. If you've ever felt out of place in situations that seem normal to others, then this video is made for you. Here, we're not going to tell you what everyone else says. We're going to dive into those details that few understand, the things that make Sigma males feel like they're living in a world that doesn't always get them. Get ready to discover that these quirks you feel aren't flaws, but unique characteristics that define a Sigma. Would you like to know why common social events bother you so much, or why you prefer to go unnoticed in a crowd? Before we continue, I invite you to subscribe to Sigma Male Official. Here you'll find a space where your ideas and way of seeing the world are valued and understood. Join us on this journey and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content about living true to your Sigma essence. Social events. For a Sigma, common social events can feel like a test of endurance more than a source of fun. While others are comfortable with small talk and shallow interactions, Sigma males usually prefer meaningful interactions, those that truly add value and reflection. It's not that they disdain company, but they seek something more authentic, something they rarely find at a typical gathering. Imagine a Sigma at a party. Instead of joining in the noise and general laughter, he would be in a corner, maybe having a deep conversation with someone or just observing. For them, an event where they can discuss philosophy or explore complex ideas is far more satisfying than an evening filled with empty laughs. This kind of preference can make them seem distant, but in reality, they're just looking for something purposeful. So what can a Sigma do in these situations? He could focus his time on those people who show a genuine interest, or even plan his own intimate gatherings, where conversation and atmosphere invite reflection rather than just passing the time. This way, they can find a circle where they don't feel pressured to adapt, but have the freedom to be themselves. Shyness in front of cameras. For a Sigma male, posing for the camera is almost like an invasion of his authenticity. Unlike those who seek to capture every moment for the virtual world, a Sigma values living in the moment, without needing to document it to prove his presence. He prefers to enjoy each experience with discretion, keeping memories for himself rather than sharing them with the whole world. Imagine he's at a family gathering or with friends. While everyone crowds together for a selfie, the Sigma tends to stay in the background, not out of shyness, but out of a sense of privacy and authenticity. He feels that his essence can't be captured in a photo, and that often, being in front of a camera breaks the natural flow of the moment, making everything feel like a superficial display. One way Sigma males can handle this is by offering to be the one taking the pictures, thus contributing without feeling uncomfortable. They can also communicate their preference not to appear in photos calmly and directly. This way, they can keep enjoying the moment without feeling the pressure to show or represent it visually on social media. Dry humor. Sigma males' humor is, without a doubt, unique and often misunderstood. Clever comments and subtle irony are their way of expressing their worldview, but not everyone can grasp this type of humor. For them, dry humor isn't a way of being cruel or disdainful. On the contrary, it's a way of seeing life with perspective and without embellishments. Imagine a Sigma making a comment that, to him, is perfectly logical and funny, but that others might misinterpret as serious or insensitive. For a Sigma, this strange or awkward reaction can be frustrating, because he feels that his thoughts are clear and that others are simply not on the same wavelength. Irony and sarcasm are like a personal philosophy that few understand. To overcome this barrier, some Sigmas might adapt slightly, using their humor with trusted people or in situations where they know it will be appreciated. They can also seek out contexts where dry humor is better understood, surrounding themselves with people who share that worldview. This way, they can enjoy their sense of humor without worrying about others' discomfort or misunderstanding. Interruptions. For Sigmas, being interrupted while explaining something can be especially irritating. It's not just a simple annoyance, it's a feeling of disrespect toward the space they're creating with their words. When expressing their ideas, Sigmas seek clarity and logic, building each thought carefully. When someone interrupts them, they feel that construction is broken and that their voice isn't valued. Imagine a Sigma talking about a topic he's passionate about, or explaining a viewpoint in detail, and suddenly, someone interrupts him with a trivial comment. At that moment, the Sigma might choose to stay quiet, frustrated, thinking that the other person really isn't interested in listening. This situation happens often, reinforcing their desire to speak only when they're sure they'll be heard. To avoid this type of frustration, a Sigma can learn to observe his audience better and choose moments when he feels comfortable speaking. He can also find people with whom there's mutual respect, where everyone has the freedom to express their thoughts without being interrupted. This way, he preserves his personal space and finds value in the conversations he engages in. Post-vacation fatigue. For many, vacations are synonymous with rest and renewal, but for Sigmas, traveling with people who don't share their same energy can be exhausting. Instead of enjoying, they end up feeling drained by the constant need to adapt to others, which goes against their independent nature. Instead of returning renewed, they often come back more tired than before they left. Imagine a Sigma on a group trip where most people want to do activities he doesn't enjoy. Parties, constant outings, superficial conversations. While everyone seems to have fun, he feels out of place and counts down the days to return to his routine. It's not that Sigmas don't enjoy traveling, but they prefer to travel alone or with people they can genuinely connect with. A solution for this is to plan trips where they can have time for themselves, even if they're in a group. They can also be clear with their travel companions about their needs, choosing times to recharge alone when necessary. This way, they can enjoy the experience without sacrificing their well-being. Joy in anonymity. For Sigmas, there's genuine satisfaction in being able to go unnoticed in a crowd. While many seek to be noticed and stand out, the Sigma finds freedom in invisibility, in being able to move without the pressure of social expectations. This ability to observe without being observed allows them to experience life more genuinely and without filters. Imagine a Sigma at a crowded event, where he prefers to blend in with the crowd rather than being the center of attention. He likes to observe, understand others' behavior, and enjoy the moment without worrying about how he's perceived. For him, that freedom of not being seen is a source of peace and lets him connect more honestly with what surrounds him. To make the most of this preference, Sigmas often choose environments where they can enjoy this invisibility. Quiet places, settings where there's no pressure to be seen or judged. In those spaces, they find the perfect balance between being present and being themselves without any social mask. Frustration from misunderstandings. For Sigmas, few things are as exasperating as explaining something clearly and still being misunderstood. They feel that their ideas are simple and well-structured, but often others don't understand them, leading to a sense of disconnection. This kind of misunderstanding makes them withdraw and at times even discourages them from expressing their thoughts. Imagine a Sigma explaining his viewpoint in detail and clarity, only to see that his listener doesn't understand or misinterprets him. This kind of experience can make Sigmas question if it's worth sharing their thoughts, leading them to choose silence and observation over active participation. One way to handle this is for the Sigma to seek environments where his way of communicating is more valued, surrounding himself with people who listen carefully and genuinely try to understand. He can also develop patience and learn to accept that not everyone will interpret his ideas the same way, finding a balance between expressing himself and maintaining his peace. Need for depth in conversations. For Sigmas, superficial conversations are like navigating shallow waters. They simply fail to capture their interest. They prefer conversations that explore deep ideas, personal reflections, or philosophical questions, as they feel that these interactions truly add value. Trivial chatter, on the other hand, usually leaves them unsatisfied and, in many cases, drained. Imagine a Sigma at a social gathering, where the conversation topics revolve around gossip or irrelevant details of daily life. While others seem to enjoy it, he feels his energy draining as he tries to stay interested. For the Sigma, a good conversation should leave him with something meaningful, a new perspective or an inspiring idea that motivates him to think beyond the ordinary. One way a Sigma can find this depth is by seeking out circles of people who share his interest in more substantial or intellectually stimulating topics. He can also steer conversations toward more introspective questions or topics he finds enriching, allowing him to maintain genuine interest and avoiding the fatigue of empty interactions. And so, we've walked together through those unique frustrations that Sigma males experience. Now that you better understand why you prefer depth over superficiality, anonymity over attention, and silence over interruptions, will you accept these characteristics as part of what makes you unique? Being a Sigma means having a different vision, a special value in a world that often doesn't understand this way of being. Are you ready to embrace that difference and live true to it? Think about how you might apply this knowledge in your daily life. How about starting to surround yourself with people who truly value your ideas, or giving yourself permission to step away from situations that don't add anything to you? The power of being Sigma lies in knowing who you are and living without the need for external approval. If you enjoyed this content, I invite you to subscribe to Sigma Male Official. Here you'll find tools and reflections to strengthen your character and keep building an authentic life. Turn on notifications to keep exploring these topics together, and make sure you don't miss any upcoming videos that are made especially for men like you.